Hello, beautiful people. It's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video, and this is from Candace Owens. And this is also in regards to Lily Phillips, the lady who slept with 100 men in 24 hours and is about to or is embarking on another challenge to have sex with or sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours. And Candace Owens did an interview with her, but before the interview or prior to the interview, Candace Owens have some things to share or to say regarding Lily Phillips. So yeah, let's hear what Candace Owens have got to say.
Okay, got to tell you about my conversation. So this girl has been trending. I am sure you've heard about her, but in case you haven't, I'll give you a brief update. Her name is Lily Phillips, and she is extremely young. Skylar, how young is she? She's got to be like 23 years old. She's 23 years old, and obviously the OnlyFans market is somewhat saturated now. And so if you're really going to break through as an OnlyFans model, you're going to have to do something really ridiculous. And she has decided that she is going to sleep with 1,000 men in 24 hours to break the Guinness Book of World Record, which was previously held by some Polish girl who slept with approximately 917 men in one day. Obviously, this is utterly demonic, and people have been outraged also to learn that her mother is working with her. Like, her mother handles the finance portion of her OnlyFans account. And so just spiritually to think about, and she's presenting herself to the public. She did an interview with the Daily Mail, and she's like, I come from a stable household. My mother loves me, like my father loves me. And she's trying to pretend like I'm just a regular girl who wants to break a Guinness Book of World Record. So I got contacted by Steiny of the Nelk Boys podcast. And he said, listen, like, I'm about to have this girl on my show. Would you want to have a conversation with her? And I said yes. I said yes, not because I thought that I was going to change her mind, but because I knew that having a conservative and a spiritual conversation with her is important for the young girls that are following her, thinking that what she is doing is making her happy. So she did this test run before I spoke with her, just a couple of days before I spoke with her. And she slept with 100 men in 24 hours just to see if she could get to 100. You should go pursue the clip. Be careful because a lot of clips circulating of her. You may accidentally land up on porn, which is what I did when I tried to find it on YouTube, on Twitter, rather. I can't believe X has so much pornography. But essentially, she comes out of the room. It's exactly what you imagine. And they start asking her questions like, how was it? How was it? Because she's filming a documentary to go along with this to maximize the money she makes. And she quite literally broke down crying. Like, the mask slipped. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm overwhelmed. It felt like robotic and I'm just overwhelmed. And yeah, because there's 100 men that are ushering in there and they were pressuring her, like, you promised I'd get 3 minutes, whatever it was. It was so heartbreaking to watch. Fast forward a couple of days, I'm talking to her and she's back to trying to make it seem like she doesn't care. And so I just called her out on that. Like, we were completely respectful. There was no reason for me to be derogatory towards her. I know that a lot of people feel very passionate, but I just basically said to her, this is a facade, and I'm aware that it's a facade because I had Amber Rose on my podcast, and speaking to her about the sex industry, speaking to her about what it took for her to pretend to be confident, because she said the reason why these OnlyFans models pretend that doesn't bother them and that doesn't disrupt their spirit is because the men want to believe you're into it, right? So if you're trying to make money and you're trying to sell a package on OnlyFans, and you're like, I'm into 1,000 guys going through me in one day, they don't want to see you crying. They don't want to see you distressed, because then it kind of takes away from their fantasy.
First of all, the question you should be asking is these young ladies who go on to be OF girls or whatever, they see it as a source to make money. So they can do anything or they want to be famous, right? The OF girl who makes tons of money and whatnot. So obviously, she's sleeping with 100 men and getting emotional or crying about it or whatever. I mean, let's look at it in so many ways. Why do you think she would want to talk about or brag about that if it's not because she wants to go viral and then coming to be emotional? Like, this is exactly what she did to herself. Let's just be honest, we should skip all of that part of playing into the game or just because she cried so therefore she was emotional or she was overwhelmed or she did not enjoy the fame or the attention she's getting. We should skip it. Because let's be honest, if it were a guy that were to come out to say, oh, he slept with 100 girls and is doing a documentary, do you think he's going to get the airtime this young lady is getting? Of course not. You know what people are going to be saying? People are going to come on the internet and critique him for bragging to say he slept with 100 girls in 24 hours. They would cast him. They would want to, there will be different if talks about him or talks regarding that. But of course, she made a documentary, and people just all of a sudden want to look past what she did, because let's just be honest. First of all, both her and the guys, or her and the men, both of them, they are at fault, but she is more at fault here. And if we're going to be honest, she kind of, we have to look at it from another side, kind of like taking advantage of men. Because who does that to say, oh, they want to test sleeping with 100 men because they have another challenge of sleeping with 1000 men to break Guinness record? Who does that? And not just talk about it, not just that, but this is like for the entire world to see. Please, we should stop this. It doesn't even make sense, because obviously we're giving this young lady the airtime, exactly what she wants or what she intended for. It's not making sense. So what are we promoting, or what are we doing? Because this is exactly what they do. These OF girls, obviously, they are the my body my choice mafia, and they are the ones that still will come to tell you, well, you don't understand what they are doing. Yes, nobody completely understand what you're doing, but obviously having sex with 100 men in 24 hours and making a documentary about it. So what are you telling? So other young girls or other young ladies, when they hear this, they say, oh, this is fun, this is interesting, because they want to get famous, they want to go famous, or they want to be famous. They would also do this because people are going to be paying attention to them. So for me, it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, whether she cry or not, or gets emotional or not, it doesn't. It is, we're not supposed to, because she did this to herself. It's not like people forced her or somebody forced her. She did this to herself, or she brought this on herself. I'm making a documentary. I'm sorry, but no. Let me know what you think.
And I called her out on that. I said, I get that you're creating a fantasy. You're doing this, obviously, I'm not going to ask you patronizing questions. You're clearly doing this for money. If Ford models knocked on your door and said, I'd like to give you a $15 million contract for modeling, you wouldn't be doing this, plain and simple. She tried to then say, oh no, like I actually really like doing, like I like this. She's like, I was already sleeping with a ton of guys for free. This is my thing. So dishonest, again, because she has to sell this fantasy to the men that are signing up to her OnlyFans, that she's into it. And because she had this moment where she broke after slept with 100 guys, I just want to say, like, for the guys that are signing up, the 1,000 men that are signing up to sleep with her in 24 hours, like, I view you as sexual predators. Like, now you know, you saw the breakdown, you saw the real her, the mask slipped. And if you are signing up to do that, it's because you're a pervert. There's really nothing else to say. She's a young girl and she just wants money, and you're willing to violate a woman and be one of 1,000 men to do it in one day for what? Because of pornography, because of sex addiction, because of all of the ills that we are suffering from, and because of the fact that prostitution is the oldest trade in the books. That is why she is participating in this. She even spoke to the fact that, like, her life was made better and she owed it to her fans. You know, she's got a little bit of money. Somebody, I think, made an estimate online that she makes like $2 million a year. And I told her, $2 million a year, and you're going to reflect on this, how it's going to impact your children if you have them. Like, imagine going to school as a child and you have the mother who everyone knows slept with 1,000 men in one day. Just to, like, do the math on that. She's going to have to sleep with one man every 86 seconds for 24 hours straight. And that's going to have to, by the way, include bathroom breaks. So, like, I don't want to imagine how that works. She's not going to be able to eat. Maybe she is going to eat. I don't know. But it is, yeah, it is really, truly a sign of just demonic possession. I told her, like, you are possessed by a devil. And it is telling you to put money ahead of your entire future. I get that you like the attention that you're getting for all of this, but it's just really sad to see what women have become in today's society. Lastly, Steiny asked me if I would ever go out and grab like a drink with her, or be a friend to her, and I said no. My time is precious. She's not a person that's trying to change around her life. It's different if she's like, yeah, I live this lifestyle and I like really want to come out of it. There's no value in that exchange for me. It's just a mom of three. And I was very clear to her that her mother was abusive. I was very clear to her that her mother partaking in this, her mother clearly does not love her. And there was like, it is, as someone who has sons and has daughters, I actually do not have the vocabulary to express um, what sort of a parent you would have to be to support that. And she says that both her mother and her father support her. So, anyways, definitely look out for that interview. I think you guys will find it to be very fascinating. And like I said, she was very sweet. There's, for me, I don't see a reason. I just don't see a reason for her to be doing this or choosing this path outside of money. And that really is the only reason that she is doing it.
First of all, I also love your thoughts regarding this, because who do you think is to blame? Because obviously now, people are also blaming or laying blames on the men, right? Only the men and not her, because people see her as somewhat of empowering, or what fantasy or fantasizing talk, which is not making sense, because she's bringing this onto herself. And let's just be honest, both the men and the and her are to blame here. There is no one, well, this thing, but she is to take the highest blame, because let's be honest, if it were a man that were to say, oh, he wants to embark on a challenge to sleep with 1,000 women, the whole internet is going to crucify the man. The whole internet is going to condemn only the man and not say talk about the ladies who wants to um sign up for this challenge or for something like this, or who are willingly signing up to this. But now guys are signing up to this, but rather than for people to condemn the act of what this woman is and hold this woman accountable, because of course in the society we live in, women are not supposed to be held accountable and not supposed to be called out, right, and shouldn't face the consequences. So give them the um soft side, and the privilege or whatnot, or the woman privilege is not making sense, because obviously she wants to win this record, and the fact that this is even in the record is insane, but she wants to win this record so bad, and she needed men. So obviously, don't you think she's trying to take advantage of this men, because the men are participating? Yes, they are willingly participating, but this doesn't even make sense. It's not sitting right. Everything about this is all shades of wrong. But of course, lots of these people don't care. Young girls will look at something like this or look at this and see it as empowering. Which part of this is empowering? And kudos to feminists, because this is exactly what they want. So now she is doing exactly what feminists have been saying, to have multiple sex with multiple partners or multiple sexual partners, because there is always going to be a winning prize, or is an empowerment scheme women or modern women are supposed to get. Is not making sense. But I really love your thoughts in the comments down below. Who do you think is to blame? Do you think the men and the women are to the men and the woman, or the lady in question is to be blamed, or you think one party, or you have a different contribution or suggestion or thoughts regarding this? I would really love your thoughts in the comments down below. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.